All right, hello. My name is Kimberly Brennan, and I am the math teacher for this course called Geometry. And I just wanted to take a few minutes to say hello and welcome the parents to my course page. I know that school looks a little different this year. We are doing virtual remote learning, but please know that the teachers are here. We're at work. We're at school, and we are doing the most and trying the best to support your student at home. So again, my name is Kimberly Brennan, and I am the geometry teacher here. This is my second year at School Lane, and I spent 5 years in Philadelphia at a school called Cristo Rey Philadelphia High School. So that's a little bit about me. I teach in a way that is student-centered and activity or task-based. And so one thing you need to know as a parent or guardian is that I really honor a lot of time for students to practice in class. I think it's really important. So yes, there's direct instruction and examples and notes, but my co-teacher and I really emphasize the time that students need to spend practicing, asking questions, and really making sure that they got it. If they can do it on their own independently is important to us. So one new vocabulary word or two new vocabulary words that we're using this year are called real-time learning versus anytime learning, and you've heard of this already from another teacher, but basically real-time learning is the 80 minutes that we're together in the classroom. So we're live streaming from school. We have cameras and we have the smart boards and we use Google Meet, as I'm sure you know. But the real-time learning portion of class is really important, especially in math, so that students can get in the moment feedback and responses. Whereas an anytime assignment would be, this is the assignment, it's due in an hour or it's due in a few days from now, and students can work on them. Don't necessarily need to be sitting in front of the computer the whole time. I think it's really important to know it's a long time to sit in front of a computer and in a screen all day, so we're recognizing that and the need for students to get up and maybe have a chance to get away from the computer. So know that those are the two things. If you were to look through my course page in the PowerPoints, you'd see there's real-time learning and anytime learning, and you should be able to distinguish between the two. Another thing that I really wanted to make sure that I'm talking to parents about or guardians in this time is to say that I really honor effort. Content is important and correctness is important, but putting in the work, especially if math doesn't come easy to a student, is really important. So I want students to recognize that my co-teacher and I really honor effort. We do that every day in our what we call our activator summarizer sheets, and if you haven't heard about this, basically it is a 3 or let's just say 2 times a class for students to be able to check in with the teacher. So there is a real-time assignment. The activator is in the beginning of class. It's supposed to activate prior knowledge. So as we start the class, what's something that extended over from last class that we need to touch base about? Students have a few minutes to try this. I can see what they're writing in real time through Schoology, through a Google assignment, and so I can see students as they're typing or as they're writing, and sometimes students choose to upload their work as a picture so I can see their handwriting or they're typing. My co-teacher and I go through this, and we give feedback in the moment, and then as a class we go over it, and so all students are on the same page as we start class. And then in the end of class we have a summarizer, and so it's in the same spot every day. It's called the AS sheet. So today, if today's day 8, then today's assignment is day 8 AS sheet. Students go in there, they write their answer. It's also a way for students to say, okay, this is what I'm supposed to understand, this is what I need to understand, this is what I do understand, this is where I get stuck, and I know my resources and how to get help. Or it's an indicator to students that maybe they thought they understood and they don't, or vice versa. They weren't sure, but then they could get the summarizer. And so it's really important that students utilize that and submit that every single class, because it designs the next class for the teachers. So I use that formative assessment to move forward and say, most students got it, or, one particular student I need to remember to reach out to because he or she understood or didn't, or made a small mistake, something to talk about. So please know we're using the formative assessment feedback loop, and that's one really important paper, or I guess a digital handout for students and teachers. So students know when they need to get help via the AS sheet, we write notes on it, and teachers use that for future planning. So if we thought we could move on but students didn't understand something, that makes us slow down a little bit and make sure the students are getting all the support in all the areas that they need. The last thing I wanted to touch on in this video was that we're not particularly using a textbook. We have handouts that we give to the students, and so if you scroll through my Schoology page, you should see that everything's broken down by day. So the first time I saw your student, it was day 1, and the next day was day 2. And if you go into those folders, you'll see the PowerPoint for the day, which is mainly what I use to teach. You'll see any PDFs or handouts, and you'll see real-time activities, and maybe a submission link where students should submit their work. If students wanted to print papers out ahead of time, they are in Schoology, and they are in day 5. I gave all of chapter 1 so that students could, mass print if they wanted to. So that's what I wanted to talk about in this video. Please know that in this Back to School Night post, I have included the geometry course expectations as a file that's attached to this, so please feel free to read through. You should have seen that already. I asked students to talk to their parent or guardian about that. And then another paper here is tips for success. So just like last minute tips from me to you to say, this is how you could best support your student. We are a team, you, your child, and me. And so just making sure we're all doing our part, and in communication is the most important part to be successful. Finally, the last part of the files that I've uploaded or included would include a COVID-19 FAQ. So just any questions regarding coronavirus and how we're accommodating your student best at this time. We've thought about it, we put a lot of thought into it, and so if you needed to read through any FAQ. Please don't hesitate to reach out. I'm happy to answer. I answer best through Schoology messages or email. So it's nice to virtually get to meet you, and please don't hesitate to reach out. Thanks. Bye.